most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as always, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. How are we doing, brother?
Let's go. Great to see you, brother. I am doing fantastic. It is a beautiful day in paradise here. Thursday, aka Friday Junior. We got love is in the air. Shout out Valentine's tomorrow. Make sure y'all are, reaching out to that special someone. You know, we're spoken for around here, but you know what? There's that special somebody in your life, or maybe not in your life yet. Go ahead and reach out, or just give yourself a reason to smile. Love is in the air, man. It's great to be here, brother. Great to see you, man. Looking sharp, as always. Shout out Cobra Kai. I see the shirt there. You know, it's significant. It's a big week.
Cobra Kai never dies, baby. Cobra Kai never dies. The season finale, or I guess the rest of the season finale, came out today. Haven't had a chance to watch it myself. Been hard plugging away at work. But, man, that is definitely on the agenda for the very near future, my friend. And I know tears will be shed.
That's good, man. It's never wrong with that, to cut some onions, you know, a little allergy attack here and there. Definitely happens, man. That means that something good has happened, right? You're crying because it happened, not because it's over, right? I think it's all perspective there. So we're keeping it positive, keeping it moving, and we're kicking it out in Vegas this weekend. We're taking a little trip to the Apex, baby. 2 Grizzle dogs in the main event. But as you know, we always start at the bottom here. And if you are around, as always, we appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe. Hop over out of the YouTubes if you're not already. If you're on the X or whatever platform, we appreciate you. But, brother, you know the vibes, man. You know what happens. You know what time it is.
Yes, I do. I do know what time it is. It is time for another card over at the Apex, folks. A lot of people talk crap about these. Not us. We like it. We like the intimacy that it provides. We like hearing the strikes. And not only that, but hearing these coaches speak to these young men and women. It is quite a brilliant thing and a beautiful thing. And honestly, it feels like we're a bit spoiled when we have these Apex events, because what would you rather? Have a Saturday with no UFC event, or having another 11 to 12 fights stacked up for us to enjoy skilled violence on a Saturday evening? I personally will take the latter, not the former, right? So with that being said, my friend, my brother, let's go ahead and jump into this card, because we do have quite a bit to cover. We have, starting off, a women's bantamweight bout between Julia Avila coming in against Jacqueline Cavalcanti. And man, I think this is one of the more clear-cut fights on the entire card. I'll go over this one briefly, and I'll pass you the baton, my friend. I just think the 27-year-old and Jacqueline Cavalcanti gets this one done fairly easy. Julia Avila, of course, in her most recent outing, got beat by Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate, obviously, in my opinion, big fan, but probably should have retired some time ago. And if you're coming out here and you're losing to someone that's past their expiration date, for lack of better words, it's a tough outing if you're coming out against somebody that's an even younger prospect that's up and coming. And Cavalcanti is no slouch. This woman can get it done pretty much anywhere the fight goes, folks. Very, very well-rounded fighter. We haven't seen her get a submission yet, but I know those skills are there. And realistically, she doesn't need them with the way that she hits people on the feet. So, she's coming off 2 split decisions. I think this will be one that'll more so cement her into the win column with a unanimous decision, or possibly even a finish early on in this fight. Give me Cavalcanti, aka the Nightmare, because I think she will be a nightmare out there on Saturday night for Julia Avila. Now, what you got?
Man, great start off here, my brother. Way to set the tone, my man. And I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm going to ride the same ship you are. I'm taking the betting favorite here, a bit of a heavier favorite as well at a minus 420. Maybe changing on your local sports book. Shout out Underdog, shout out DraftKings. If you're listening, hit us up. We can do some cool ads. We can work together now. Help us, help you. Those are our preferred platforms. I digress. Get me Jake Quallen Cavalcanti here as well. Okay. Trying a little Key and Peele here. All jokes aside, the Nightmare is definitely not someone to mess with. Okay. If she heard me say that, she'd be haunting my nightmares like Freddy Krueger. Okay. This lady representing Portugal, that is an absolute savage, with all due respect here. 27 years old, on a 5-fight winning streak over the last 2 years, 8-1 record. Really not a lot of blemishes. She's continuing to get better. She's stepping up each time with the level of competition here. Again, the odds may not suggest that Julia is going to give her a lot of run for her money. And I'd be hard pressed to make a case for Julia Avila here. Like you mentioned, my brother, she unfortunately was on the losing side of a rear naked choke submission loss to Amisha Tate, who, you know, if I told you this was 10 years ago, you might have said, okay, that's no big deal. But no, this was only a couple years back here, back in 2023. Has not fought since. That's over a year of inactivity. You're 36 years old, turning 37 soon. Not an ideal situation for Julia Avila. I would have liked to maybe see her come off a win or give us a little bit more of a better image. But that's really the lasting memory I have of her, unfortunately. And again, you got the Nightmare in front of you, someone who's 9 years younger than you, who's hungry, who's been getting a lot of decisions, so she's used to these 15-minute brawls. And I think she does also have that ground game. She poses a threat there, even though she hasn't gotten a submission finish in a few years. The Nightmare Cavalcanti is certainly that's an option, right? So with Julia Avila, not a lot of paths for victory here, in my opinion. Not to say she's, you know, any dog can have their day, but give me Jake Quallen here. Give me the Ben favorite. Probably by decision. Again, her last 5 fights have been my decision, so I'm going to take that to the bank here and run with it. Let's go.
Let's go. And with that being said, let's go right into the next fight, folks, which is a heavyweight bout between Don'Tale Mayes coming in against Walter Walker. I'll give you the tell of the tape, and that's pretty much all I'm going to give you on this one, folks. Don'Tale Mayes, 33 years of age, coming in against a 27-year-old Walter Walker, 6'5" versus 6'5", a 5-pound weight difference typically between what they usually weigh in at, 260 versus 265, and 81 inches of reach for Don'Tale Mayes, the less weighing man, against 78.5 inches of reach for Walter Walker. If you've ever watched an episode of our show when it's a Don'Tale Mayes fight week, you've learned after the first episode we talked about Don'Tale Mayes that we just don't bet on a Don'Tale Mayes fight. I don't even like to do picks on a Don'Tale Mayes fight, if I'm being completely honest with you. But gun to my head, I'd probably have to go with Walter Walker in this one. He's the younger man. He's the more up and coming man in this bout. And honestly, he's been the more impressive man. Don'Tale Mayes has seemed fairly flat from what I've seen in recent history. And I would not be surprised if Walter Walker came out here and got a finish. But if I had to bet on it, I would just take him money line. I mean, you can get him at minus 238, which isn't terrible from a betting perspective. But again, I won't be betting this one. I will be staying as far away from this one as possible from a betting standpoint. Nano, what you got?
Right there with you, my brother. Level more simpatico, more hive-minding here to set the tone, to start us off here on another fight night. And to your point, man, 2 unranked heavyweights. It's an absolute pick-em. The odds suggest it. You can flip a coin and feel just about as good as either one of these fighters. But I am going to lean with you here as well. Walter Walker, I think mostly because it's Johnny Walker's little big brother here. So fan of Johnny Walker, maybe a little bit of biasism, if I'm being honest with you, if I'm being candid. And to your point here, Don'Tale Mayes, I mean, heck, I want to bet against him. Maybe that's when you bet for him. Maybe that means he's going to win. I mean, he's literally lost, win, lost, win, lost, win over the last couple of years. I guess if you keep that path going, MMA Math suggests he might get on the victory side this time around as an underdog. But to your point, man, don't want to bet with it. Neither of these guys are going to be in my underdog or DraftKings necessarily here. So give me Von Walker, the slight favorite, repping Brazil, and again, Johnny Walker's little big bro. I'm going to take that.
Did you just call him Von Walker?
Did I say Von? Volter.
Give me Von Walker.
I gave him, that was his American nickname. I apologize.
Walter Von Volker.
His brother's name is Johnny. Maybe it's do it for Johnny, man.
The naming convention there is definitely different, right? You got a Johnny, you got a Walter. Maybe the mom chose one, the dad chose the other. I'm not quite sure.
Makes sense.
Either way, we move on. We move on into the next one, which is a bantamweight bout between Vince Morales coming in against Elijah Smith. And Nano, I'll let you take the lead on this one. I feel like I've been steamrolling through these. What you got, my friend?
I appreciate you spreading the love a little bit here. I'll make sure to leave some meat on the ribs here as I digest this fight. I like a Vince Morales. I like a Vince Morales for a few reasons. First off, being he has more experience. I typically don't like the older guys. You know, I like my young bucks. And we do have a little bit of a larger discrepancy in the age. Morales, let's go, Charlie way. I like what I'm seeing here from the kid from Oregon, Vince Morales. Again, coming off a loss, you know he's going to be hungry, but I do think the age and the experience is what's given me the feeling that he's going to find a way to get it done. 16-8 record. I know it's up and down. Again, I know he's coming off a tough loss back in 2024 against the Taylor Lopoulos, but if you go back and watch that fight, he proved a lot to me. I mean, first off, Taylor Lopoulos is an absolute stud at 20-4. He's a dog. We all know this. He's a bona fide stud, certified stamp of approval here from the MMAnomaly Show. So I don't take that loss, especially taking him to a decision. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get outclassed. He held his own against a tough opponent. And I think that's the experience he needed. Similar in other sports, you know, things start to slow down. He's been exposed to that level of competition. I think he's going to continue to raise the bar and hopefully capitalize on where he is now in terms of the tail end of his prime. And not to say Elijah Smith doesn't have a fair shot here. I mean, he is the betting favorite. So with that in mind, I'm taking the underdog here on this one. But I think the reason why is because he is a young buck who's extremely talented. He's athletic, coming from a sports background like myself. Hard for me to bet against a kid like that. But again, he is a kid. He's 22 years young, 7-1 record, hasn't lost in the last few years. But I think this is going to be the big leap in competition that he's going to need, that he's going to learn from. But I'd be remiss to say that I see him, taking care of business on this one. I'm going against the books here, and I'm going with the underdog in Vince Morales. Shout out Charlie there in the chat for that one. But I don't know. Are we still in the same boat here? Are we, dogs barking in the backyard, or are you in the front yard on this one? Talk to me now.
Well, man, you know me. I typically stay in the backyard with them dogs, brother. I love a good dog, and this is one. This is one if I've ever seen one. So, as you mentioned before, the experience, right? He is 34 years of age. Usually, you take the young guns here. And I mean, coming in against someone that's 7-1 hasn't really been checked that much, as we like to say, has Elijah Smith. But Vince Morales is a man who, as Dustin Poirier likes to sum it up, he's a man who's been introduced to himself many times, right? That's what adversity does. It introduces a man to himself. And in mixed martial arts, if you're doing it correctly, there is no such thing as losing. You win or you learn. A man with 8 losses on his record, that's a man who's had a lot of time to learn. And I like Vince Morales in this one. I really, really do. I think Vendetta goes out here and gets it done. And let me tell you why, okay? This guy, okay, he came out and got a Peruvian necktie over Hunter Azure in UFL right before he made that debut against Taylor Lopoulos, which I believe was on short notice. And then a Peruvian necktie, that's not something you hear very often, right? That's a very uncommon and special submission, in my opinion. And who is Hunter Reserve? For those of you that don't know, let me tell you. He's somebody that's fought Keith Richardson, Jack Shore, Brian Boom Kelleher. Oh, by the way, he got a unanimous decision win over Brad Katona in his UFC debut back in 2019, did Hunter Azor. I know they tell us not to look at MMA math, but I'm going to do it anyways. And that's why, folks, that's my first bet of the night. I'm putting a unit on Vince Morales. I'm pretty bullish on him. Just going to take him at money line. I don't know how he gets it done necessarily, but I know he has multiple paths to victory. He is a very well-rounded fighter. He can get it done anywhere it goes. He's got literally 31% of his wins by way of submission, 44% by way of knockout, and 25% by way of decision. The man has many paths to victory. So I'll throw this chat up again here. You already know, bro. You already know. Morales. That's the guy. We're putting one unit on him at plus 136. It's too sweet not to play, folks.
Absolutely. You won't get cavities on this one. It's not that sweet, but it's just sweet enough. Let's go.
Speaking of sweet, man, let's talk about a sweet matchup. We got a welterweight bout between Gabriel Bonfim coming in against Chaos Williams. Man, what a name. I think his real name is actually Kalen Williams, but everybody knows him as Chaos, so we'll just call him Chaos, the 30-year-old man, coming in at 6 foot tall, 170 pounds, 77-inch reach. Talk about a bit of a reach advantage here, folks. Considering his opponent only has 72 inches, or 72.5. We don't want to take that half inch from him. This is one that I'm afraid of from a betting perspective, right? You got Chaos Williams at plus 180, though, which is kind of juicy. We've seen the Bonfim brothers be made to quit before, and Chaos has one-shot power. He's got what we call that one-hitter quitter in both hands. And Gabriel doesn't have the best head movement. So I'm worried in this fight that Gabriel can go out there and get knocked out. But if he fights a smart fight, should be Gabriel's fight to lose. He is the more well-rounded fighter, in my opinion. He does have the better, more complete skill set in this one. His striking, his grappling, it positions him as a pretty versatile threat, right? Again, Williams, on the other hand, formidable striker, exceptional knockout power, very, very dangerous opponent when it comes to the stand-up exchanges. Bonfim's ability to mix the striking with the grappling could be very advantageous for him against somebody like Chaos, who shows nothing but aggression in his striking style and the way that he fights. However, Williams possesses that one-shot power. The nuclear option is always available. I just find it hard to bet against or for either of these guys in this fight, man. From a betting perspective, I'm not going to do it. But who do I have going into this one? Give me Chaos. Love some Chaos.
Ooh, you do like the Chaos here on this one. And I might like it a little bit more than you, but not in the picks, okay? I like Chaos because I'm causing some of it. I am sticking with my Bonfim brothers here, okay? I got to ride with the bros, okay? I got to ride with the boys. I've been faithful to them. I know, he's had some bumps along the way. My boy Gabriel over here, represent Brazil. 27 years young, had a lot of hype. like we said here in the chat, the Jive Turkey Nano is on the Bonfim dream. I am on the dream team, my brother. The dream is still alive. No nightmares here. And I think he's going to slay the Ox Fighter and Chaos. Really cool name, Williams. That being said, reason why you kind of took the point for me, my brother. You made the bet you're going to end up having to lie in, and it's because Gabriel, skill for skill, tit for tat, I think he has a little bit of an edge. He's going to be a little bit more bouncy, light on that front foot, kind of Muay Thai style, snappy fighter. He's not going to be as big and strong, not going to have that one punch power like a Chaos does, but he's gonna cause more chaos and he's gonna receive it. I think he's gonna stay on the outside, keep Chaos at bay, and do what I think a Randy Rude Boy Brown did back in 2022, 22-ish. I got to throw that in there to save myself. But Randy Rude Boy Brown did beat Chaos Williams way back when, and I think the skill set is similar here in a Gabriel Bonfim. He's got the good footwork. He's got good strikes that are going to keep Chaos guessing, is going to keep on his back foot, not as maybe a little more gun shy, right? Like we've seen a lot of these heavy punchers. They don't know what's coming. They're more reactive and kind of shell up as the rounds go. Even if he tries to shoot or do anything again, like we've seen Gabriel Bonfim snap a neck, like get the choke. He has that good ground game as well. So I like all the skills that he's coming in here with. Again, maybe a little bias here. I was surprised to hear you go with the chaos, but again, he has that one punch power. He's a slight underdog, so it's not a landslide gimme here for Mr. Bonfim. He's got a lot to prove, man, and I think this will be the one that hopefully gets him over the edge, a win over a name like a Chaos Williams. Best case scenario, we get an absolute slugfest for 15 minutes, then we're all happy, but one of us will be licking our wounds on the other side. Come next week, tune in to see who it is. But give me Mr. Bonfim and let me know how you're feeling in the chat. Let us know who you're riding with so far. We're finally starting to diverge paths here. Are you riding with Team Primo here, a.k.a. Drive Turkey Nano, or are you going with the Cobra Kai? I mean, in honor of Cobra Kai, I guess, we got to have a little bit of rivalry going. So let us know, man. Let us know.
You already know. You already know what it is. I think that's got to be the first shot bet of the night, my friend. I mean, we're opposing sides.
To the board.
It's going to be a good fight. Folks, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. Jeez Louise, choking up on the words here. Jeez Louise. We might have to do a shot soon.
Let's go.
Loose the goose. Loose the goose. You know what I'm saying?
Baby. Loosey goosey. Come on.
Oh, man. So with that being said, folks, we got to move into this next one. This next one is it's one that I'm very excited about and I'm very curious about. We have a flyweight bout between Rafael Estevam coming in against Jesus Aguilar. And man, oh man, oh man, oh, it's what a fun fight. The biggest kind of, I don't know, elephant in the room here is simply because Javier Estevam has been on the shelf for quite some time. His last fight was a huge unanimous decision win over Charles Energy Johnson, who, as you know, I'm a huge fan of on this show. That was back in November of 2023. He has not fought in over a year. So he took all of 2024 off. As we know, before that fight against Charles Johnson, he had two canceled bouts, one against Carlos Candelario and the other against Zhalgas Zhumagulov. So I'm curious if he's going to show up to this fight 100%, right? Is he facing recurring injuries? Is that why he's had these pullouts? And if so, what does that mean coming in there against somebody that is as dangerous as a Jesus Aguilar? All of that just to say, give me Estevam by unanimous decision, man. I think he's the better fighter here. He's got a size advantage, grappling skills. I mean, those two things alone position him as a formidable opponent for somebody like Jesus Aguilar. His aggressive pressure and wrestling heavy approach could potentially neutralize Aguilar's striking and overall submission attempts that he usually brings to the table. However, Aguilar's knockout power is dangerous, right? And he also presents a pretty dangerous submission game, as I said. Particularly his guillotine choke, really nasty, really slick, really fundamental, the way he sets that up. So those things make him a threat in the stand-up exchanges as well as on the ground. That's why I'm worried for Estevam here, right? Like, I'm not going to bet on this fight. You got Estevam at minus 485. You can maybe find some good prop bets in there. But even that, stay away from it, bro. It feels like a landmine waiting to explode. If you are so privy, I don't know, maybe throw like a fifth or like a tenth of a unit on Jesus. He's plus 370, bro. Like, it's tough not to buy that juice. That juice looks delicious to me. So, but I'm trying to stay away. I'm fighting the temptations this week.
I like it, brother. I like it, man. And I'll try not to, be too much of a bad influence here. But I do think, for you degenerates or you violence enthusiasts like ourselves, I would say, hey, this is a good one to hedge, right? This is a really good one to hedge. You got two absolute savages going in here, and Rafael Estevam, who really on paper has all the skills. I mean, he's literally undefeated, hasn't sniffed a loss yet. He was overweight his last fight against a Charles Energy Johnson. Damn, we're both reversed today, huh?
You did the same thing as I did earlier, bro.
Jeez, what's going on, man?
What's happening today? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. We're gonna keep it rolling though, baby. But he's a really talented fighter. When you look at him and you look at the tape, and some of the numbers certainly suggest it. He's a high volume guy. He's not necessarily a sniper. He's not going to be calculated and throw 1 or 2 punch combos. I mean, he is really, really high volume. Someone that is looking for the finish. Obviously, the weight is a little bit of a concern. Not seeing him for a while is a concern. Some question marks around, like you mentioned, his health. What version of him are we going to see? But the reality is, hasn't lost yet. It'd be tough to bet against him. So from a betting perspective, I would say I would try to stay away from it. One, because you're not really getting great odds. And again, the lack of seeing him recently, I could really build a case for Jesus Aguilar is what I'm building into. I don't look at the odds before looking and going live with y'all. I try to keep it real, authentic, like a live jive turkey should. And I was surprised to see this one as big of a favorite or as lopsided odds-wise here in Vegas. Again, because I think Jesus Aguilar has that one-punch capability. He's on a 3-fight win streak.
I'm putting a fifth of a unit on it. I'm sorry to
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
It's happening, bro. Like,
hell yeah, baby.
It's happening.
Was even trying, man. Was even trying. And you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense as we get here on a quote-unquote muddle-down card, which I'm excited about all these fights. But this narrative here, you got 2 violent, exciting strikers. Jesus here, the underdog, repping Mexico. He's going to have that gritty boxing, Mexico style boxing, but he's got that chin and he's got he's got that dog in him. Let's just say that. But he is going up against another absolute dog, and again on paper should be able to get it done. But I will say I'm gonna hedge it with you, my brother. I'm definitely gonna put a little bit of money on Jesus Aguilar. But I won't be surprised if, I'm eating our words next week here and doing a shot. I will happily drink some tequila here for my Mexican hermano, my primo, my compa, Jesus Aguilar. Let's go. I'm riding with the man.
Absolutely love it, man. Absolutely love it. We are rolling with it, baby. Yeah, let's keep it rolling. We broke even last week. We're trying to do more than break even this week, folks. So as of right now, we're putting 1 unit on Vince Morales. We're putting a fifth of a unit on Jesus Aguilar. I like that. I like that a lot, man. You put a fifth of a unit on him, you get damn near a whole unit back. You get basically 0.94. So not a bad deal, folks. To put that into dollar perspective, right? You put $100 on him, you get $470 back. Again, not a bad deal, folks. And with that being said, we move on into the next one, which is kind of odd. They don't have over-unders yet or any crazy odds on it. Just straight money line on this next one. But I digress, folks. We got ourselves a fight at the lightweight division between Jared Gordon coming in against Mashrabjan Ruziboyev. My goodness, this fight is almost going to be as fun as it was to say that guy's name. And I got to address the chat in the room here. Charlie, you think the odds makers got this one wrong, or plus money is a sucker's bet? My friend, I think both of those are not wrong. I think the odds makers got this correct, but I also don't think that the plus money is a sucker's bet. It might be a trap, but I fell for it. So only bet with stuff that you can lose, folks. This is a dangerous one. This is a volatile one. But you're giving me plus 370 juicy odds on somebody that is basically like if you asked me, I would tell you this is like a 1.5 to 1. Right? Like if you run this fight 10 times, I think maybe Rafael will win 6, 7 times. But again, there's a huge question mark. There's a huge asterisk there because we haven't seen him in how long, folks? Like, it's been a very long time since we've seen this guy fight. So, yeah, man, I like that one. And speaking of ones that I like Jared Gordon coming in here against the debutant Mashrabjan Ruziboyev. I just, the experience, right? 20-7, coming in against 24-1. I get that they have very similar careers as far as how many fights they've had, but you got to look at who these guys have had fights against. And I mean, one guy's nickname is Flash and the other guy's nickname is Black Jr., which I don't understand at all. So if we're going on just a nickname standpoint, Jared already won the fight, folks. But I digress. Looking at his opponent, he's been fighting an open fighting championship, ATF, WEF. I've heard of Brave, right? We've heard of Brave CF. That's a good one. Octagon is one we've heard of, but he hasn't fought in any of those since 2022. So his 5-fight win streak to me is effectively fairly useless because they're over names that nobody has really ever heard of. We don't know what the skills trajectory of these guys are. And with that being said, I know the people Jared Gordon has fought, and not only that, I know the people that he's beat. And he beat an Olympian. He beat Paddy Pimblett, whether it showed on the scorecards or not. He beat Leonardo Santos. I mean, like, again, he went out there and put on a fairly competitive match against Nasrat Hopcross, who's an absolute monster of a man. So you're going to have a hard time convincing me this fight goes any way other than Jared Gordon, in my opinion, man. Experience and well-rounded skill set just make him too tough of a matchup for the debutant. His ability to mix up the striking and grappling, it's going to pose massive challenges for somebody that is as new to the UFC as Ruziboyev and just hasn't fought the caliber of talent that Jared Gordon has. Experience is going to pay dividends on Saturday. I think this is an easy bet. I'm not going to take it, though, because, I mean, it's minus 355 right now. That's no fun at all. What you got, Nano?
Oh, man. I'm going to go against the grain on this one, my brother. And I am going to take who might be an MMA anomaly here in Black Jr., Masrabajan Ruziboyev. Okay, sorry to slow it down there a little bit. This is an interesting one, and I got to just maybe start before I go into our boy who we really don't know much about here. The thing with Jared Gordon, I think the record and the up and down career we've seen over the last couple of years, it's hard for me to have a lot of trust. So I'll probably stay away from it from a Ben perspective. The odds might be wonky, but we got a Ruziboyev here who has fought at both welterweight and lightweight. He's 5'11". I guess maybe we'll see how the weight concern is here. Him stepping in and competing here at a lightweight, but dude's going to be bigger, probably a little bit stronger. And I think his style here with 8 years of youth on his side as well for Ruziboyev. Man, this Uzbekistani, his last 5, has not lost in his last 5 fights. He's undefeated over the last couple years, even though he's taken about a year off, which is concerning. But 4 out of those 5 wins have been by finish. Dude has that brawler kind of bear-like style. A lot of these guys in those Dagestani, Caucasus Mountains range, that part of the world over there, he represents well, and he's a good example of high-level striking, good boxing that's coming along, but the veracity that he has in the wrestling game, I think he's going to find a way to get it done, assuming he makes weight and assuming if he stays here in the lightweight division, he might be a real problem here at 5'11" with that kind of length and potential speed and explosion. Again, Jared Gordon, 36 years old. It's just coming off a loss as well. Like you mentioned, it is a split decision against a Nasrat Haqparast, who is a stud. He is trending in the right direction. He's building up a lot of hype, and it was a split decision loss. So one of those judges thought Jared won the fight. That's how close it was. I don't want to completely rule him out. That's why I'm probably just going to stay away from it. And I don't think we have exact odds out just yet. Or at least I'm not seeing it here on Tapology. Shout out. But give me Ruziboyev.
So you can get Ruziboyev right now at plus 280.
Ooh.
Money line.
I like that underdog. I might put a little something together for my underdogs. Let's go.
You might have to do that. brother.
Let go. I reckon I will. Consider it done.
Speaking of underdogs, we don't really have an underdog in this next one, folks, because it is a good old-fashioned pick'em at the women's strawweight division. We got Angela Hill coming in against Ketlin Souza, and man, yowza, Ketlin Souza. She presents problems for our girl Angela Overkill Hill. But I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one and tell me who you have. And I'm feeling like we're going to be on a different side on this one too, man. Once we start, we're just always different.
I know it, brother. I know it. I'm hoping we are so we can get both sides of the coin here covered and we can see what the people think and let them be the deciding factor. But man, when I look at this fight, stylistically, two absolute beasts, two women that represent the division well. I've seen Angela Hill, a little bit more of a household name. She's been around the block. Fought all the who's who's. The 40 years old, I will admit, scares me a little bit here, even though she is the slight favorite betting wise. I think if you're Vegas, you're looking at someone that you trust a little bit more often than not. She's finding a way to get it done. And she's going against, man, who I feel is a really, really tough, young, up and coming, she's 29 years young here in Ketlin Souza. I mean, I feel like she's kind of the new age fighter, kind of the changing of the guard here. That last fight she had against Yasmin Yadaguay absolutely took care of business, showed some heavy hands, but ended it with a rear naked chokehold to kind of showcase that she is well-rounded and has the capability to go far in this division in the UFC. I mean, there's something out there in the water, man. It's not a story we haven't seen before with another young Brazilian, talented, hungry, savage, right? And she looks mean as well with the tattoos and the braided hair. But this is going to be the biggest fight of her career with an Angela Overkill, hopefully not over the hill. I'm going to dish it back to you because I'm assuming you're taking our girl Angela Hill and you're going to try and convince the viewing public here why you got to stick with those old guns. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm assuming, right? Am I talking for you a little bit here? Did I lead in? Is my hunch correct? Talk to me.
My guy, did you read the script or what? Yeah, I'm going Angela Hill, man. I like Hill here. And I think she gets it done via grindy, windy decision. Now, there's a reason for this, okay? We've seen her opponent get submitted. We've seen her opponent get knocked out. We've never seen her get out just decisioned, right? Anytime it has gone to decision, all 5 times it has, she's won. I am wondering what happens when she goes in there against someone that's not going away. And we've seen Angela Hill go out there against a Ketlin Souza. We've seen her go out there against, she's going out there against the Ketlin Souza very soon. Oh man. No, we've seen her go out there against Tabitha Ricci. We've seen her go out there against Mackenzie Dern and not be able to be put away. Those are the 2 people that have gotten decision wins over her though. And my question is, do we think Ketlin Souza is on the same caliber as a Tabitha Baby Shark Ricci? Do we think that she's of the same caliber as a Mackenzie freaking Dern? I'm simply not convinced. Right? And on the other side, we've seen Angela really put some stuff together. She's actually looked better in the last 2 years than she had in the 5 years prior, in my opinion. The way that she's fighting, the aggression she's fighting with, the way she's stringing those Muay Thai combinations together. I think she's going to have Ketlin Souza's number out there. She's going to outwork her when it comes to the footwork. And I think Ketlin Souza is going to have a hell of a time trying to get her to the ground. Again, Hill's ability to mix striking with grappling is the biggest thing. She mixes it up a lot better than most people. And that is going to really frustrate somebody like Souza out there who lacks the same level of experience against seasoned UFC competition. The issue for me is, as Nano pointed out, Souza's knockout power, right? She is a small lady with the nuclear option. That's not something we see very often. We don't see these small weight classes like this get these crazy finish knockouts. But I just don't think she's going to be able to get that over somebody like Angela Hill. How many times have we ever seen Angela get knocked out? Do you know, Nano? off the top of your head?
I was gonna say, I don't think she's been finished, man. And she has some records when it comes to strikes landed, significant strikes, potentially fights or bonuses. I mean, she's a future Hall of Famer. I think we need to put the respect where it's due. And in honor of Valentine's Day, we will give Angela Hill her flowers and her roses, whatever flowers she prefers there. Just show some love because, again, she is an absolute legend, and living legend still, right? She still has a lot of game left, a lot of tread on those tires, and your fight IQ doesn't go, right? I mean, heck, I don't know if it's too lofty of a comparison, but the people that are still doing it at that age of 40, I mean, they're talking the Tom Brady's, the LeBron James, the Aaron Rodgers, really at a high level. I mean, LeBron James, maybe we just keep the conversation there. And Angela, I mean, hey girl, you're up there with the likes of them, right? If you could go out there and get a win over a young buck like a Ketlin Souza, you stick to your fight IQ, which again doesn't diminish. The body may eventually give up, but again, like we were talking about here, I don't think you've been finished. So maybe not a lot of concussions. I haven't heard of Angela getting a lot of injuries or things like that. I think, similar to myself, knock on wood, maybe she just kind of was able to skate through that career, avoiding some of the major ones, which again would diminish. Father Time is undefeated. I'll just leave it there. But yeah, brother. Fair. I mean, again, I can see where your head's at. I can see where Vegas is at. Although as of now, I'm looking at a -108 for Angela Hill and a -112 for Ketlin Souza on our home base DraftKings. So, man, it's a virtual pick-up, my brother. If you're in the chat and you don't know where to decide, you're not alone. Vegas doesn't know how to decide either. Shout out, who is this in the chat? Who is this? What up, fam? Good to see you.
What up, fam? Who is this? I hope it's someone who's happy to see us because we're happy to see you, my friend. Man, let us know who you have in these fights also. So it sounds like you're sticking with your guns. You're riding Ketlin Souza.
Damn straight.
You know what that means? You have to say her nickname.
Oh, let me pull it up. I clicked the next fight already. Here we go. Oh, gosh.
Oh, I know who this is. Is that HGH?
Escuentadilla. Escuentadilla?
Wait. Hold on. I'm going to need you to say that just one more time.
Escuentadilla.
That was nice.
Thanks, man.
Oh, man. All right, we're pouring up a shot for my boy HGH in the chat. Shout out, who is this?
HGH. I need some of that in my life. Come on, baby.
That's what we call him. That's what we call him.
Damn straight.
With how that boy be
I'll
making money.
Talking big money. Big bank, take a little bank. Let's go.
Cheers, folks. We've got about 15 of you right now. If you're on a different platform, come on over to YouTube. Hit the like, comment, subscribe. You know how it goes. Smash that bell for notifications. If you're new, if you're old, just want to make sure you know when we're going live. And if you drink, raise one up with us. If you don't, do a sip of water, folks. Stay hydrated. Either way, we appreciate the hell out of you. Cheers.
Thanks for being here. Salud. Here we go. In honor of the main event, got to get ready. Got to get loosey-goosey.
Let's go. Now we are on to the main card, folks. And you know what that means? A featherweight matchup between Connor Matthews coming in against Jose Delgado. Man. I would feel bad betting against Delgado, considering that's my bro's name, man. It's tough. But I digress. We don't bet with our hearts here on the MMAnomaly Show. That's a lie. I usually do actually bet with my heart. And this time I don't have to, because Delgado is going to get it done, brother. And let me tell you why. I just think that he is going to be the stronger man out there. Not only do I think he gets it done, I think he gets it done inside the distance, and I think he gets it done by knockout, folks. He is riding a 5-fight win streak right now. I mean, actually, it's an impressive 5-fight win streak because all 5 of them are finishes, folks. Round 3, rear naked choke. Round 1, Darce choke. Round 3, punches and elbows, barrage from hell. Round 1, left hook Larry made a cameo. And then round 2, a knee to the head. So, folks, this man is an absolute monster. And standing across from him, obviously, we're in the UFC now. There's no gimme fights. You got Conor, the controller, Matthews. This guy is going to look to get control of you. Pun intended. Right, folks? I know. Not one of my better ones, but it's okay. He is going to look to take control of the situation and control of Jose Delgado. He is going to look to establish dominance with the grappling early on and look to grind out those muscles and strength and pop that his opponent Delgado possesses. Do I think he can, though? Not necessarily, Nano. I think he's going to have a real struggle getting his opponent down, let alone once he gets him down, being able to keep him down, right? Guy's proven to be very, very tough to keep on the ground, and we've also seen him do work from the bottom, both in his amateur career, which he had an extensive one compared to a lot of these fighters nowadays, and in his pro career. So he just seems like somebody that can do work from the top or the bottom, and he also seems like someone that makes it an absolute full-time job if you're trying to keep him on the bottom, Nano. So tell me how you feel about this fight, and tell me why you're also going with Delgado.
I feel good. I feel good about it. I feel great, man. I am taking Jose Delgado here. I think he showed enough on that contender. Absolutely, brother. He showed enough on that contender, Dana White Contender Series debut. The KO to the head, the knee to the head, to the face, a powerhouse to the face. I like what I'm seeing. And again, well, not again, but let me just make it known. He's representing Phoenix. Shout out Arizona. Shout out my land right now. Not where I'm from, but where I reside, where I pay property taxes for. I'm loving it, man. I love what I'm seeing from this young kid, 26 years young. Hasn't lost. He's on a large win streak here, and he's going up against a Conor Matthews who, unfortunately, coming off an L, right? He did lose his last fight. He did get a left hook to the face and then hammer fist to the face. Loss against Dennis Bazooka, or just Bazooka. Sounds cooler. Bazooka. Roll call.
There you go. Don't bring that back. We don't want to make that a thing again.
Okay, sorry. I'll leave it there.
I wish I could say we could cut that out, but we're live, folks.
We are off the script and off the reservoir, unfortunately. But let me get back on track. Take the Ben favorite.
We are live.
Thank you, Bruce. Shout out MMA Lab. Shout out Phoenix. Shout out AZ. Shout out Jose Delgado. Shout out my Mexicanos. And shout out the Ben favorite here. I think he's going to find a way to get it done. And that's that.
Yeah, and for the record here, folks, we won't be betting on this man because he's a minus 410. Are you effing kidding me right now? Just no. No, I won't be taking those odds because this is a volatile betting sport. If anybody who has bet on it, this isn't football, right? Like last time I bet on football, I think I hit like a 7 or 8 leg parlay because it's much easier than betting on this. But we like betting on this because it's fun, folks. It's fun. And with that being said, we have a fun fight in this next one that I am probably going to lose a little bit of money on. And let me tell you why. Because it is a middleweight bout between Rodolfo Vieira coming in against Andre Petroski. Now, I said earlier that we don't bet with our heart here on the MMAnomaly Show, and I also said that was a lie. This fights like this, that's why it's a lie. Anybody I've met in person that I've dapped up in person just simply can't bet against. It's almost physically impossible. And I have met one of these two fighters, haven't met the other. So, sorry, Rodolfo, but let's go ahead and jump into the breakdown either way. Rodolfo Vieira is renowned for his exceptional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills, having secured multiple world championships in the discipline. And in his MMA career, he's demonstrated a strong grappling game with 6 of his 10 victories actually coming by way of submission. Now, as far as disadvantages that I've seen for him is I have seen him go too aggressively for the takedown, for the submission in general. He has gone for submission over position, as they say in Portuguese. And you never want to go submit over position, right? You want to go position over submit because being in a good position is always key. It's always favorable. And we've seen him gas out trying to really hunt for the submission. Now, doing that against somebody like an Andre Petroski is tough because Petrosky on the other side is recognized for his wrestling background and aggressive fighting style. He secured victories via knockout, submission, decisions, showcasing his versatility as a very well-rounded fighter inside of the UFC octagon and out. So, look, just keeping it clean cut. Vieira's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills, and make no mistake about it, they are elite level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills. They make him a real threat on the ground. While Petrosky's wrestling background and aggressive approach to fighting in the cage pose a real challenge for him. I think this whole result is going to hinge on whether Vieira can impose his grappling game or if Petrosky can control the fight on the feet. Because if he can keep the fight standing and or just, for lack of better words, Nano, be annoying on the top, which is something most wrestlers are good at, right? We've seen Ben Askren do that in his heyday before he made it to UFC with a busted hip, right? To BJJ stars. We've seen Islam do that to BJJ stars. I'm not saying he's a Sambo guy, but American wrestling's not so bad either, my friend. Walk me off the ledge. Am I crazy for taking Petrosky in this one?
Not at all, my brother. Not at all. I was definitely leaning our man Andre Petrosky as well here for a couple of reasons. I think I've liked what I've seen from him most recently. He's a little bit younger, a little bit more fresh, only by a couple of years here, and only the slight underdog. Both guys are back-to-back wins. Both dudes are absolutely strong, tough as nails. But like you mentioned, when it comes to, I guess, withstanding the heat, when it comes to being in that uncomfortable spot, or really just boiling down to who I trust more in those type of situations, I like the tougher wrestling background, Andre Petrosky, the guy that has, I think, a little bit better boxing and a little bit better striking capabilities than his opponent here, Rodolfo. Why I think Rodolfo is maybe the slight betting favorite is because he does have a good, well-rounded game, like his grappling, his jiu-jitsu, obviously coming out of Brazil, is definitely on point. But Andre Petrosky is training out of Renzo Gracie out there in Philly. Those boys are tough as nails. He's got a good camp with them. The Sean Brady's, the freaking Joe Pfeiffers. I mean, you name it. You know, he's iron sharpens iron. So I think he's trending in the right direction here. A little bit more, a few more wins.
I met Joe Pfeiffer that night too. They were together.
Hey, shout out Joe Pfeiffer, baby. Shout out.
When I was cage side for the Poirier versus Islam fight.
So sick. Oh, what an experience, man.
Nice guys. Really nice guys.
That's awesome. I love to hear that, they can be violent in the cage, but they could be humans outside in the real world as well. So again, all things considered, give me the man out of Springfield, Pennsylvania, Andre Petrosky, man. I hope he goes out there and gets it done. I like another underdog here, man. I'm not going to talk off the ledge. I'm going to be right there with you and let Jesus take the wheel. Let's go. Money in the bank, baby.
I think that might be a dog cash pick right there, baby. Yeah, let's see. What do we want to do on that? We got plus 225 money line on Petrosky. It might be a half unit bet.
Yeah.
It might be a half unit. We're going to ride a half unit on that, folks. Half unit will get you 1.62 units back. Again, to put that into dollar scale for you, $100 on that would get you 325. So if your units are $100, a half unit would get you 162.5 back. Not a bad deal, folks. Not a bad deal. We're going to throw a half uni on that. Your units are your units. Our units are our units. May all of our units grow no matter how big or small they are currently. And with that being said, folks, we move on into the next fight of the night. This one is one that I'm going to say this about the next 4 freaking fights. I'm just not going to say it, dude. I'm intrigued about this fight. Ismail Bonfim coming in against Nazim Sadikov. Oh, man. We got both them Bonfims on one fight card. No. What's happening here, my guy? Both Bonfims on one night. What a delight. I know you like these guys. And I may or may not be fading them both. So I'm going to let you take the lead on this one.
Oh, no.
So you can walk me off the ledge. I might have to do the fade the Bonfims parlay.
Oh, no.
And if I do that with a half unit, are you going to match me in the opposite direction?
I was saying I obviously will have to, most definitely, because that's just mad disrespect. Hard to go against my boys here, but this one definitely don't feel as good about. This one's certainly more of a nail biter in my opinion, even though the odds are pretty close in both of their bouts. Oh, literally, I digress. I like Ishmael here. Again, he's the younger, or actually older and bigger brother here, and he's coming in with a skill set. Again, like I mentioned with the last brother, I mean, yeah, kind of rinse and repeat here, copy and paste. Very light on his feet, but has a good, well-rounded skill set. So why I think he's gonna be able to take care of a Nazim Sadikov, aka the Black Wolf. I did see in some of the tape there, he's a really nasty, mean, and clean puncher here from the southpaw, but he does tend to drop his hands a little bit. He did get flash kind of knocked out or got clipped a couple times, maybe a better way to phrase that statement. So that scares me. Even though he's 2 inches taller, he's going to have 2 inches less of reach than his opponent, Ishmael, in this one. So the other Bone Fiend brother, again, really fits his skill set, what he wants to go out there and do. The last thing I'll say here about our boy Nazim is he is training out there with Longo and the boys out there in the Bronx in New York. So shout out that squad. And I know they're going to have him dialed in. They're going to have him ready to roll. I don't think it'll be a lack of the right coaching plan or getting him in the right space or prepared. I think he's going to come in and be the best version of himself. Unfortunately, he's going up against a guy that has far more experience with one less year of experience on this planet. So give me Ishmael Bonfim, the second Bonfim brother. But don't get it twisted here. He is older, and I like them both just as much, man. I'm taking that Bonfim brother parlay, and I'm sure you're going to have to do what you do and be Skip Bayless over here and try to talk our viewers.
Come on, Skip.
Skip. Come on, Skip.
That's one of my least favorite clips of all time. Come on, Skip.
Skip.
Oh man,
Talk to me, brother.
Don't make me the Skip Bayless of this group, man. Let's just pick a different group.
Well, you're the lone wolf on this one, man. Talk to us why you're picking the Black Wolf, my brother.
Look, man, I like the kid. I like him a lot. That last fight was it was an anomaly. It was a bit of an MMA anomaly, right? He did lose in his last outing. We're just gonna call a spade a spade. He had a bad night out there, and even on his worst night out there, he still fought to a unanimous. It was a draw, unanimous or a majority draw, right, against Vyacheslav Borshev, who, as we just recently saw, I mean, he is a son of a bitch. Tom Nolan is a freaking stud, in my opinion. He was 8-1 coming into that fight, and now he's 9-1. And there was only like a 15 strike differential or so between him and Vyacheslav Borshev. And that was after that war against Nazim Sadikov. Also, in that fight that he lost, he landed 4 of 7 takedowns at a 57.1% clip, which is very impressive. Racked up some impressive control time, too. In my opinion, I thought he actually won the fight. But I wasn't mad at the majority draw there. I could see this fight going very similarly in the factor of him shooting for takedowns early on, sapping the energy of the older Bonfim brother. As we've said before, I do think he's the better Bonfim brother, but I just think Nazim might have something special, right? He's training with the right people. He's doing the right things. As we like to say, he's doing all the inputs on his side, right? Like he's doing everything right to improve, to get better. And I can only think that he is going to get better as a firm result. So give me Nazim Sadikov here. I really like this guy. He's plus 180, which is ironic. I feel like it's fate. If I lock this bet in right now, Nano, Chaos Williams plus 180, Nazim Sadikov plus 180. Feels kind of like someone's trying to tell me something, bro.
It's not too shabby, my brother. Definitely not too shabby.
Or it's a trap. Or it's a fucking trap.
Might be.
Either way,
might be too
I'm
good
going
to
to take
true.
it. I'm taking it, bro. 2-leg parlay plus 684. HGH, if you're still in the chat, tell me I'm not crazy here, bro. I'm putting a half unit on it. Plus 684. I like this one. Looks like Nano is going to match me on the opposite side of this bet here. And if he does that here, that's minus 218 and minus 218. Maybe they're trying to tell you something. You put those together, you get plus 112. You put a half unit on that, turns into 1.06. Again, folks, that means if you're playing with $100 units, put a half unit, you're getting $106 back and 39 cents. So we're doing that. Nano's going to put a half unit on it. I'm going to put a half unit on it. And I mean, honestly, either way we win. As long as both Bonfeams win or both Bonfeams lose, one of us guys is going to make money, and it goes into the MMAnomaly fucking show bank account here, folks, which I think we're like literally 0.2 units up for the year so far. So
I like it.
Just barely breaking even right here. And this is the week where we start to pull ahead for a real way. We're going to build a cushion. And then once we build the cushion, that's when we start getting crazy and either, buy our tickets to International Fight Week with it, or we start back at square one. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun, folks.
Let's go. Can't wait.
Give me Nazim in that one, man. So we're opposed on that one. We'll put another shot on that one for the night. And with that being said, we move into the Coco main event of the night here, folks. Edmund, the Golden Boy Shabazian, coming in against Dylan Budka. Man. Edmund Shabazian enters this matchup as a very clear favorite. Nano. He's got a higher skill level, and it's clear. More experience in the UFC, and it's clear on paper and just, visually. His striking and knockout power are what's making him, in my opinion, a clear pick over Dylan Budka. However, Budka brings a very aggressive approach. And if I'm being honest, he's got a pretty well-rounded skill set, which has proven to be a problem for Edmund Shabazian in the past. Biggest problem that we've seen for Edmund in the past is when he does land, he has a tendency of getting a little bit overzealous, a little bit greedy, and rushing in sometimes, which we've seen not play out so well for him in the past, right? He's gotten caught, he's gotten just hooked for his troubles and or submitted. So it's a tough outing for him. He was the guy that trained with Ronda Rousey. Everyone thought the Golden Boy was going to be just that. We all thought he was going to be a Golden Boy out there. And we've seen him get arm triangled by GM3. We've seen him get ground and pounded out by Fluffy Hernandez. And look, in both those fights, I think he was winning. So he's one of those guys that he's doing really, really well up until the moment he's not. And that's a tough thing to wait. You look at the odds on this one too. It's really tough from a betting perspective because he's minus 380. I'm not going to touch this one. And then under 1.5 is plus 145. Over 1.5 is minus 188. Yeah, from a betting perspective, I'm staying away from this one. From a fan perspective, Edmund Shabazian is essentially being given this fight to bounce back. Let's just call a spade here. It's his fight to lose. Budka is, a UFC fighter, but I think that he is the far less experienced UFC fighter, and he does bring less to the table as far as overall power and paths to victory as far as finish goes. So yeah, give me Shabazian here. I think he likely gets it done by an elbow. I don't know why. That's what I'm leaning towards. I have a weird feeling he's just going to land a close inside elbow and drop Budka and get a KO. Nano, what are you thinking about this one, man?
Ooh, I like that a lot, brother. I like you said that. Because I was going to say, from a betting perspective, money line bet here on Shabazian at a heavy favorite is not something you may want to touch, or maybe you want to parlay. But if you really do like him, I think, like you mentioned, you're probably going to get some juicier odds, a little bit better bang for the buck by taking him by a finish, maybe a sub or a
plus
TKO
125 by TKO, KO, or DQ.
Perfect. Yeah, see something like that. Definitely juicy. Maybe just take that standalone. Give yourself a little bit of a rooting interest to hope for some violence. And I would say why it's definitely possible is when you just look at the record here for Shabazian's opponent in Dylan Budka, and really his name, the Mindless Hulk. I mean, I hate to kind of call a spade, but might be a little bit more on the mindless side and less about the Hulk bit of his nature. Coming off 2 losses in the last year, one of those to our boy Andrei Petroski, and another one in a nasty TKO loss to a Cesar Almeida, who has proven to have that kind of power. But to your point, the ones really that get you may not always be the hardest punch, but it's the one you don't see. And I think Edmund Golden Boy Shabazian still has that ability, though he hasn't always shown high fight IQ, back up and down career over the last few years. But he still has that skill set. He still has the ability to go out and, like you said, find a sneaky path to victory there in the form of a TKO or early finish. But if it has to go the distance, I trust Edmund to be able to get it done and use his just well-rounded skill set. So all to say, I'm agreeing with you. I'm taking the Golden Boy here. But if I'm going to put anything on it, I may stay away from that minus 380 odds and just hope for a finish. Hope the Golden Boy goes out there and takes care of the mindless Hulk. Captain Soldier style. Captain America, Winter Soldier, or try to think what the new Brave New America style, or what's the new
Brave New World, baby. Captain America, Brave New World. Going to see it tomorrow for Valentine's Day, baby. And you already know. You can see by the shield in the backdrop, and the shield in the backdrop, and the shield in the backdrop, and the shield on the arm, and the shields everywhere else. I'm a big Captain America fan. Have been since I was about 5 years old. So, yeah. I think he's going to go out there and just act like he's holding an imaginary shield, and blast him with an elbow. I've talked myself into it while you were talking about it here. And what up, Klaus? Hope you're having a great night, my friend. Was nice chatting with you in S-Dog MMA's chat earlier. From one stream to the next, baby. You already know. Yeah, I've talked myself into it, and you helped push me over the edge there, Nano. So I appreciate you being, for lack of better words, a bit of a jive turkey. I'm going to go ahead and put a half unit on Edmund Shabazian to win by KO, TKO, or DQ. Look, that's his path to victory. He's got 11 of his wins by knockout, right? 85% of his wins, by the way, folks. That's 1 by submission, 1 by decision. The rest of them are by knockout. I think this is going to be no different. He goes out there and gets a knockout, lands a crispy elbow to get it done, get it started. And if you put a half unit on that, again, folks, if you're playing with $100 units, to make it easy math for you, $50 on this one would get you $112.50 whole cents back. So we are going to do just that. We're going to do a half unit on it, folks. And I'm excited about it. I think this one's going to hit. I'm a big fan of this one. Big fan of this one. And with that being said, folks, we move right on into the co-main event of the evening. We got a featherweight co-main event. It's Calvin Kattar coming in against Youssef Zalal. My goodness, this fight has fireworks written all over it. And as Nano likes to say, haven't heard you say it in a while, my friend. Might have to hear you say it 3 times during this breakdown. This fight has major implications. Oh, man. I'm going to pour up a shot for this one because I am just fucking stoked for our guy. For our guy, Youssef Zalal. We met him at International Fight Week. By far, one of the funnest dudes you'll ever talk to. Great personality. I mean, somehow his personality is even better than he is as a fighter, and I think he's world class. I think he's got championship material written all over him, folks. Oh, man. I can't wait for this fight. I'm going to let Nano take the lead on it after we do this shot, but folks, if you drink, raise one up with us. Do a shot with us. And if you don't, then take a sip of water. Stay hydrated, folks. Make sure you're watching Cobra Kai if you're a fan. The new season just came out tonight. It ends, but Cobra Kai never dies, folks. And just like that, neither do our fans. Cheers to you all.
Salud.
Nice boot, bro.
Thank you, my brother.
You'll have to see it. So, Nano, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one, my guy. Tell me how you feel about Calvin Kattar coming in against Youssef Zalal, the Moroccan Devil.
I'm feeling good about it, my brother. I'm feeling really good, man. I'm feeling like this is definitely a potential fight of the night, written all over it. We got our boy Youssef Zalal, the Moroccan Devil, and he's like a Tasmanian devil out there. He just fights with so much energy, man, but he keeps his high-level IQ, the fight IQ. He's always locked in. But just like we saw in person, in the flesh, at International Fight Week, that he just oozes of charisma, of aura. He's got that moxie. But really, it's an energy. It's infectious. You feel it. You see it. I mean, we're in line just those few hours just sitting there. Meanwhile, he's bouncing, taking pictures with everyone, laughing, throwing, finger points, and just what I saw in comparison to just even other fighters. I'm like, this guy is bouncing off the walls, so much energy, and he fights the same way. I love what I've seen from the kid, and we call him a kid, 28 years young, but he's shown to be a true pro, man, a true pro, and he gets it done in the ring as well. Like, he shows up. He's not just this silly guy, which, again, we've seen a lot of that in person. Again, absolute fun experience, me and him and chatting with them. But he goes in there, and he's an absolute savage. Like, what he was able to accomplish against our boy Jack Shore just a short 3 months ago, arm triangle. Before that, another submission rear naked choke. Another one before that against a Billy Q. Another one before that against a Zadim Zadnikapurianya. Ooh, man, I digress. And then another one against Jake Childers. No, that was tough. I should have even attempted it. That's on me, ladies and gentlemen. But all to say, give me the boy Yusuf, man. He has so many tools in his toolbox. And I'm worried about our boy Calvin Kattar, right? He's a long way away from the guy that was fighting for a potential title shot, the guy that had that bloodbath fight against Max Holloway, which, again, he was on the other side of that. He was really the punching bag, not the puncher in that scenario. Again, coming off 3 losses as well, 4 in the last 5 L's over the last 3-4 years now. It's just all things are going the wrong direction. He's 36 years old. Father Time is undefeated, like we've seen. And unfortunately, I think we're going to see a change in the guard here come Saturday night. Unfortunate for Calvin Kattar, but as a Yusuf Zalal fan, I'm excited as all get. And I can't wait for the show, man. But I'm curious to hear your breakdown stylistically. If you think maybe the odds are they're a heavy favorite for our boy, maybe you're going to explain to the viewers here why that is the case. But what do you got for us, man? And shout out Klaus, the boss, says, what up, boys, in the chat? We see you. Absolutely. And then shout out Crossover MMA as well. Let's go. Got the whole squad here.
Yeah, man. Shout out Crossover. It is Shot O'Clock. It is always Shot O'Clock, my friend. We'll do one more before the end of the show just for you, my friend. But you make sure you do one too. Shot of water, obviously. And if you're not already subscribed to Crossover MMA, make sure you drop a like, a comment, subscribe on his latest video. Always does great breakdowns. Sometimes he's wearing the suit. Sometimes he's wearing the shades. Either way, he's shooting straight fire, folks. Crossover MMA, an absolute legend. I actually got to watch UFC 311 with him in person at the LA Intuit Dome in Inglewood, and we were up to no good in Inglewood. My friend, my compadre, dude, this Calvin Kattar fight, it is fire. It is fire. Okay, so Zalal is coming into this as a heavy favorite, but there's a significant reason for that. His defensive striking, his grappling, his ability to take control of the pace of a fight are very, very big factors here. Kattar, very dangerous striker, right? The Boston Brawler, as I like to think of him. But he's up against someone who can avoid his attacks and can mix in takedowns and also utilize the footwork to keep Kattar off of his rhythm. Now, here's what I think we should expect in this fight. Kattar will look to take control of the pace with his striking, likely attempted to break through Zalal's defense with the volume and the power. We've seen his power in previous fights, but we've also seen what happens when he has someone that can out-volume him, right? Zalal will likely look to be more patient here, staying out of range, utilizing the footwork, and working for his own takedowns. His ability to avoid damage and mix in wrestling are going to be key points to victory here for him. I also believe that Zalal's footwork will prove to be one of, if not, the biggest factors in the entire fight here. No. My prediction, while Kattar is the more experienced and dangerous striker, Zalal's defense and style and ability to dictate where the fight goes from start to finish are going to give him the edge. I think Zalal should look to avoid Kattar's bombs and implement his grappling strategy here early on. Sap the power, sap the efficiency of Kattar, and then slow him down. Once he slows him down, catch him slipping and start ripping. That's what I think the path to victory here should be. Slow him down, sap the energy, catch him slipping, and start ripping, baby. I need to trademark that.
Yep, we're gonna add that to the bank. I like that a lot. Come on now.
Zalal took Ilya to decision. That's why you're the man, bro. And dude, he won a round against Ilya. Come on,
Speechless. Our boy.
our
Come on,
fucking
man.
guy, bro. Our guy, Zalal. He is Himothy. He is Himothy, bro. I'm going with him. I'm going with Zalal here. And it's easy money, folks. But here's the thing. It's not easy money because he's a minus 485 favorite. So I'm not going to bet on him because DraftKings is not doing us any favors with this. But the good news is, Nano, that's my featherweight in our fantasy UFC league. That's my featherweight in our
What a
UFC
pick.
fantasy league.
What
So,
a
folks,
pick, my brother.
if you want to be a part of the fantasy league, let us know. Shoot me a DM at MMAnomaly on Instagram or Twitter. I mean, basically any and all platforms. It's at MMAnomaly, folks. Drop a follow. Shoot me a DM. Let me know. We're going to do the next draft in July. We're doing 2 of these seasons per year. It's fantasy football style. You pick a fighter per weight class. You pick a flex, or as we like to call them, your MMA anomaly of the year. And then we move on forward. We draft the points. We dictate the points based on the DraftKings Sports Fantasy app, and then we go from there. So it sounds like we're both riding with Youssef Zalal, the Moroccan devil here, and I absolutely love to hear that because that means we can move on into the main event, my friend. And with that being said, folks, I'll let the man say it better than any of us ever could.
It's time!
For the main event of the evening, it's a middleweight bout between Jared Cannonier coming in against Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. Nano. My goodness. This is going to be an absolute banger. It's been a while. You've been out and about, and so I want to let you have the main event here, my friend. Tell us who you have and tell us why you have them. And after you're done, we'll pour up one more shot here for the folks.
Absolutely. I'll get that ready, my brother. I'll be short and sweet here. I do want to hear your breakdown, man. You've been clicking on all cylinders, man. Love what I'm hearing from you. And I may have tipped my hand here because I'm consistent, man. We've gone with the guys we like, the guys we know, who we trust. And we've been talking about our boy RoboCop for a few years now. Since we've really been humming on this channel, we've talked about our boy RoboCop as one of the next guys in the division. Unfortunately, had one speed bump along the way. It was that TKO loss to Bruno Ferreira. And we just don't talk about Bruno. We keep it moving, my brother. He's on a 3-fight win streak since then. Being able to beat a Christian Leroy Duncan of Rat Tavares. This is going to be the toughest challenge of his career. The age, let that just be its own separate thing. 40-year-old Jared Cannonier. At this stage, unfortunately, I think that's the little bit of the gap. That's Gregory, aka RoboCop Rodriguez's way in here. He's gonna have the speed advantage at 32 years old. He's still in his prime. Dude looks like an absolute beast. He's endured some of the nastiest cuts we've ever seen in the UFC as well. So we know he's going to go out there and be tough as nails, and I think he'll be able to weather the storm early on from a Jared Cannonier, who, again, is 40 years old. He's been in absolute wars. He's fought all the who's who's. I mean, literally anybody and everybody in the division that's of relevance or that is ranked or has been ranked, Jared Cannonier has fought him. Going all the way back to his loss against Izzy Adesanya back in 2022. Was a tough L, but he was able to go out, beat a Sean Strickland, who is not an easy night for anybody, and then goes out and beats a Marvin Vettori, who even jokes about himself being an easy win for most people in the UFC at this point. So you think things are going the right direction, but then, man, he's unfortunately met with this young crop of absolute savages, right? A freaking Nasruddin Imavov, who well, might just be a future champion by the looks of it. This guy's an absolute monster. And then after that, Jared Cannonier gets no favors from the UFC and has to go up against a Kai Barallo. I mean, my goodness, another fighting nerd there who just is, again, another guy who's on a freaking rocket ship to title contention, man. All things said, unfortunately, I think Gregory Rodriguez is more closer to those guys I just mentioned, and I think he's going to be in that conversation after this fight. If you go out, weather the storm from a Jared Cannonier, because, man, I love what I'm seeing stylistically from a Gregory Rodriguez. He is never in a boring fight, has all the skills. I'm excited, man. For as long as this one lasts, it's going to be an absolute banger. Oh, and we got Yusuf Zalal on the screen. Let's go, baby. I'll hand it back to you, my brother. That was a good little spoiler there. But talk to us, man. Who do you got? And I'm going to pour my shot. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Pour it up. Dude, good call out to the Caio Barallo fight. And can we just say that fight could have been stopped? I mean, that fight could have been stopped 10 times over. It was a tough fight to watch, if I'm being honest with you. But that's not going to stop me. It's not going to stop me. I love Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. And I got to show the people here. Look at this. Come on, folks.
Hey.
This is the guy, folks. Yusuf Zalal. For those of you that don't know, we're out here, folks. And for those of you that are seeing this in the chat, Trollstar, damn, didn't get a notification, but I'm back for the second time. Found some gems with your breakdowns in regards to props last time I was here, so I have to rewatch from the start. Good work, fellows. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Dude, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make you money. We actually have some pretty solid bets this week, so I would highly recommend going back and watching. And Trollstar, please, my friend, if you do go back and watch, do us a huge favor. Leave us a comment post-video. Let us know what your favorite prop or favorite bet that we made was. And let us know which ones you're tailing, my friend. We love to see that. So, folks, this fight, Jared Cannonier coming in against Gregory Rodriguez. Just a nasty fight in general, folks. Cannonier is obviously the more polished striker. If you can avoid Rodriguez's early pressure and take the fight into the later rounds, I think this is a Jared Cannonier show. I think he wins this fight easily. His striking power likely going to be the difference here, but Rodriguez has the nuclear option, right? And that's a tough thing to worry about here. So realistically, I mean, call me crazy, folks. If we look at what these guys have done in the past, right? Gregory Rodriguez is 4-1 in his last 5. His opponent is 2-3 in his last 5. And if you look at how the Killer Gorilla and RoboCop typically get their wins, Killer Gorilla here, right? 9 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, 5 by decision. If we look at his last few wins, outside of Derek Brunson, they've all been decisions, right? Even the losses, for the most part, outside of Nasruddin Imavov. There's 2 anomalies in the last 6 to 8 fights that have not been decisions. And if you look at RoboCop, 56% of his wins come by way of knockout, right? Last 2 notable wins, actually last 4 notable wins. Julian, the Cuban Missile Crisis Marquez. I had to think about that name for a second. I love his nickname. I was like, wait, what is his nickname? I love it. That's the dude that fumbled the bag with Miley Cyrus, if you forgot. And then Chitty in Chukwanu, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Both of those, round 1, round 2 knockouts, right? Dennis Julian, elbows from the back mount, round 1. Brad Tavares, round 3. Not an easy guy to put away, folks. Not an easy guy to put away. He's fought Izzy. He's fought the who's. He put him away in round 3, 55 seconds in. So if you look at his wins, right? 4 out of the last 5, he's finished by, not only finished, but by knockout. So I'm going to take the prop on this one. I think it makes a lot of sense to hedge this bet. If you're going to hedge it, you take Gregory Rodriguez, Mr. RoboCaps, at minus 230, right? Not a juicy bet, not a fun bet, not a sexy bet, if we're being honest. You take them at minus 230. You take them at Vegas odds. Or, no, let's not do that at all, right? Because that's not what we're here to do. That's what we do if we're boring. I say we take Cannoneer, money line, plus 190. Nano, that's the way to go. And then we look at the winning methodology here. And if we scroll all the way down to DraftKings Sportsbooks here, and we look at the Gregory Rodriguez props, well, you can get him to win by knockout at plus 100. So that's taking that minus 230, and now we're getting plus odds on both of these, right? So this is one of my favorite props of the night because we make plus money either way we do this. And that's exactly why I'm going to go ahead and do this. Yeah. Had to look at the numbers real quick. So, yeah, I like this a lot. Either way, we're plus money here. We're doing Jared Cannonier, money line plus 190, dog odds. You know, folks, you've been here. This isn't your first rodeo. We love when a dog is able to make us some money. So we're going to take those dog odds, plus 190 money line. We're going to put one whole unit on it, folks. So again, quick maths. If you're playing with $100 units, you put a whole unit on that, you're making 290 back. All right, we're going to do that. Put a whole unit on it. And then we're going to double down on this because I actually don't think Jared wins this fight outside of a decision. But I don't feel confident enough to bet decision, which would be money plus odds. We already getting them at plus 190 for money line. Why are we going to add volatility to the bet, folks? We're not going to do that here. We're going to play it not safe, but we are going to play it smart, right? So plus 190, we're taking them at those dog odds, one unit, and we're going to double down and put 1.5 units down on RoboCop to get it done by knockout, right? We're getting them at plus 100 odds. So pretty simple math, right? If we did, again, if we have $100 units here, we're doing 1.5 units, that's $300 back. You're literally doubling your pleasure, doubling your fun, and doubling your funds. So that's what we're going to do here, folks. 1, 2, we're going to double them up. Either way, we are set to win money, right? Again, if you are playing with, these $100 units, that means you're putting out $250 in totality for this main event. And that means as long as it goes the way we're projecting, so Jared Cannonier either wins any way, shape, or form, or Gregory Robocop Rodriguez gets it done by knockout, either way, you're going to be up $40. And that's bare minimum. Best case scenario, you're going to be up a little bit more than that. Right?
Dude, I like where your head's at. Yep. That's smart betting right there, ladies and gents.
We are weighing the dice for you guys right now. We're trying to help you. We're also trying to help us. That's what we do. So, folks, we appreciate you. We did say that we would do one more with you. I am going to pour that up. I know Nano already has his poured up, so I'm behind the curb here. So,
catch up
ASMR.
now. Let's go. Appreciate y'all being around. Shout out Troll Star, the real star of the day here. But yeah, man, I will say this was a fun one, a low key banger of a card, some huge implications as as we like to say as well. And I think we coined a new phrase as well. I'm gonna have to go back and clip that one, something along the lines of "let it rip," and keep it and something else in there. But
catch them slip and let them rip, baby.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Make them slip and let them rip. Dude.
Appreciate y'all sticking around, man. Whatever platform you're on, if you like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing, go hit that like, subscribe, smash the bell for notifications. And if you're sipping on some, hey, man, we're right here with you. Drink to that. Let's go.
That's right, folks. Cheers to you, cheers to us, and cheers to all the money to be made on this fight card and all the ones coming up. If you have any really solid bets, leave them in the comments below post-show. We'd love to see them, and we'd love to tail them, folks. So we appreciate you being here. There's over 20 of you at this point, and keep them rolling.
Salud. Let's go.
So, folks, with that being said, I am really liking the bets that we've made today. Again, for that last one, that was one whole unit on Jared Cannonier by moneyline and 1.5 units on Gregory Rodriguez to win by knockout. If it's not an inclination already as to how I'm betting, man, I'm going towards Gregory Rodriguez. I'm going towards, RoboCop Rodriguez to win by knockout in this one, folks. I love this fight. I love this main event, but if I'm being honest, the co-main event is my main event. I am a big fan of Youssef Zalal. I'll throw the picture up one more time for the folks. Folks, look, he was an absolute beast, and just a total nice guy. Great demeanor, great kid, and we are calling him a kid, as Nano said. I mean, come on, he's younger than us by a mile. But we won't go into that. It's another story for another episode, folks. So again, like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell for notifications if you're new here. And even if you're returning, Trollstar, I'm looking at you. Make sure you smash that bell for notifications, man. We want you here. Let us know what bets you tailed. Let us know which bets you think are batshit insane. And let us know which fights you're most excited about, folks. Either way, we appreciate you being here. And the only thing that we really ask that is a non-negotiable here at the show is that you keep on going, keep on growing, folks. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.